Hi guys. So we have learned all the apps, example apps in the textbook. So we should be ready for the end of the chapter exercise. So here's the app that you are creating. So what do we have on the left? We have two input functions here, right? We are collecting information on gender and region. And then we have action button and then download report button, right? And on the right, we have an output. It's the same output that we've been making in the previous exercises, the end of the chapter exercises, right? So we keep building upon our previous end of the chapter exercises, right? So NCAA swimming programs, Division One school types, right? So it is the same app from Apply 5. The difference here is we have one more input, which is region, and we have one more button, download report, right? And the other difference from Apply 5 that is not obvious is in Apply 5, this male female multiple selections were allowed. In other words, the user was able to select both male and female. But for simplicity of the code, we're going to switch that to a single selection only. So the input function, we're going to replace, is a checkbox group input function, which allows multiple selection. Zoom in. So on the right column, right here, checkbox group input function, that's what we use to allow multiple selection, right? But for simplicity, we want a single selection only, which is radio buttons. So we need to replace this checkbox group input function with radio buttons function. Okay, so that's one change in app.r file. Now, I want to remind you that download report, this function requires additional file um, in addition to app.r, the usual file that we always have, right? We need to have our markdown file. So for this exercise, we're going to take those two files, app.r and r markdown, report.r markdown file from Apply 5, and we need to revise both. And I thought about this exercise and I was thinking, you probably need more guidance. So I designed this exercise as a two-step process. So here, to provide more guidance for you guys, I'm going to show you the entire process to build this app. So the difference between your job, your exercise, and the one I'm going to show you is just one less variable, the region. So it's exactly the same app, but it only has this gender input. Your job is to add. So once I show you how to build this app, you need to add one more input, which is region. All right. Okay. So here's the game plan. So you're going to copy the two files from Apply 5, app.r and report.rmd, right? So in app.r file, remember app.r, we had multi-page layout. We're going to switch that to single page layout as we saw. And we're going to use sidebar layout, right? On the left, we have a thinner column for inputs. And on the right, we have a wider column for output, right? And we're going to keep the same theme, darkly theme. And we're going to keep this same feature here, match the plot to the app's theme, right? And then, as we discussed already, we're going to replace checkbox group input function with a radio button function, just for a single selection only, not multiple selections, right? And in in the other file, the R markdown file, the title, we're going to have it Division 1 swimming makeup. And then the parameters in Apply 5, parameter was n, lowercase n, but that should be sex. So parameters is same as the variable name. Okay, variable names, which is sex, SCX, uppercase S. And then we want to add global chunk options to hide everything. So we need echo results message warning that you guys learned in the intro class, right? So we want to add that global chunk options. And then we want to copy and paste the code from app.r to create the plot, right? And make sure that input is replaced with parameters. So it should look like this here: parameters and dollar sign and the variable name sex, right? And the text, we want to include this text to help um, the users understand the interpretation of the plot. So we want to include the largest type of Division One schools with men's swim team is National University. There are this many of them. Now, their men's National University and 11,710, these are in bold and italicized to show that these are variables, right? So I'm going to show you how to write inline code. So if the user selects female instead of male, then this should switch to women's, right? And so on, right? So I'm going to show you how to do this in this simpler app, one less input region. And then once it's done, you are going to revise your code both in app.r and R Markdown file to make it like this with one more input region. That's your job. All right, and let's do it. So go to tab, Ch9 web app, and Apply6. Quick browse, select chapter 9 folder, hit open, create, and Apply6. We have this .r file created. So here, let's select all and delete the default content. And let's go to Apply5 because we're going to build upon the exercise Apply5. Now I have the solution code here. Select all, Control C, and then here we're going to paste. All right, so we can delete this, and we can go back to chapter 9, Apply6. Now, Apply5 assignment, right? So when I run this code, so it should look like this, right? It's multi-page layout, right? So this is what we built. So we're going to build on this. We're going to revise the code. So the first thing we want to do is change the multi-page layout to single page layout using sidebar layout function. Okay. All right. So let's close this app. And so the UI, so UI fluid page, and then sidebar layout function. And then we have sidebar panel function, and then main panel function, right? That's what we need. And in the sidebar panel function, inputs go in there, and main panel function output goes in there. So here, all right, so we have, like, checkbox group input, action button, and then here we have output. So we have, let's copy them and then put it here, right? But we don't need this comma, right? Um, yeah. So here you can see that. Let me zoom in for you guys. You can see this closing parenthesis matches this opening parenthesis, and this closing parenthesis matches this opening parenthesis. Yeah, so everything looks good. So, and this output here, plot output, this output, right? Control C, and let's put that here, right? And again, when we do this, make sure you get parentheses correctly. So you see that this parenthesis is highlighted, and here this one as well, meaning that these are matching, pairing parentheses. This one here pairs with this one, right? So there isn't anything else. So we can delete this and run app. Now it should be single page. Okay. So apply changes, right? Yeah. So the other thing is the themes. Um, so themes, we want to keep the darkly theme, and we want to match the plot to the app in themes, right? So that is, we didn't copy that, right? So let's go back to undo. We just deleted the code. So Control Z, Control Z to undo, right? So here, theme argument, right? So we can copy this, and maybe we can copy the title of the app as well, NCAA Swimming. Control C. So here, for fluid page, right? You can add that to the theme, and maybe I don't know. It's up to you, but this here, um, yeah, yeah. Let's keep it there, because user need that information, right? It's Division One only, and Division One swimming makeup, Division One school types. That I don't think we need because that information is already in the plot, right? So we can delete that, and also matching the plot to the app's theme. Well, that is in the server, right? In the server function here. So we don't have to worry about that now. Okay. So what we added is the theme for the app, right? Using this theme argument and Bootstrap library package and Bootstrap theme function from the package, right? Okay. So let's reload. All right, guys. I've been having some trouble connecting this GitHub data page. Realized that this v.csv function is very slow. Okay. So instead of v.csv function, we're gonna change to read_csv function. Okay, which is more modern and faster. Okay. So make sure that you're using read_csv instead of v.csv. All right. And let's run it again. There you go. It's going much faster. All right. So apply changes. There you go. And we have a darkly theme, right? So now what else we need to do? We switched the page layout, right? And we kept darkly theme and plot to apps theme that the same function is still in the server function because we didn't change anything in the server function. And replace checkbox group input with radio input because we want to allow only a single selection because right now um, multiple selections allowed. But again, for simplicity, we want to allow single selection. So let's close this app and this checkbox group input function, right? So, well, let's check the cheat sheet, right? So radio buttons function, there are three mandatory arguments: input ID, label, and choices. The font size is larger. That's how I know those are mandatory, right? The others selected in line with these have default values assigned already, so we don't have to provide values. Um, Whereas checkbox group input function, input ID, label, choices, the same, right? So we really don't have to change anything other than changing the function name. All right. So here, radio buttons. So, and don't have to change anything, but I just want to make these lines line up here so it's easier to read. Okay. And let's try again. All right. So now if I select female, um, male selection checked off, right? Single selection only. Very good. Now the other thing is the apply changes button is colored in green, right? So we want to change that as well. So if you remember in our textbook, Mastering Shiny, in chapter 2, Basic UI, let's control F to search for class arguments. So here, section 2.2.7 action buttons, there's a class arguments, right? So we have these values available for class argument for color and also the font size. We have these arguments, large, small, extra small. All right. So I think green is success. So let's come back here for action button. So let's close this app, hit tab, icon, BTN, and success, right? And then run it again. What? Invalid icon. Oh, it's not icon, it's class. I'm sorry. Oops. So it's class, and then run app. There you go, it's green, right? And the other thing is we need this download report button, right? So this is a new feature we learned in this chapter, chapter 9, right? So let's go back. So close this app, and we're gonna add one more. Uh, Hold on. Yeah. So here, download button, and you can see here, output ID doesn't have any default value assigned already. All the others have default value. Um, so output ID is mandatory, and label default value is download. But what we see here is download report. So that's what we need. So download button. And for output ID, what do we download? Yeah, that is intuitive. And for label, download report and run app again. Oh, by the way, it's blue, right? So I'm pretty sure it's primary, button primary. So let's provide class argument btn for button and primary. And then let's run app. There you go. So apply button, download button. Right. So it's not yet available. That's probably because we need to add a function down here, download handler function, right? And let's provide some space between the two buttons here. So let's close add. So a trick maybe. Uh, so let's add H3 and then comma. So we are not putting anything. We just want a space between the two buttons. Try again. There you go. We have a little bit of space between the two buttons, right? And all right, so what is next? By the way, I wonder whether the vroom function may be faster. So let's switch this from vroom package, vroom function. Let's try that, whether it's any faster. Run app, save selected. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure whether vroom is faster than the read underscore CSV function. So yeah, you can use either function here. Okay. So I believe UI side is done. All right, guys. So we have revised the UI side function for the code, right? Um, but we also need to revise the server side code. But I guess I missed that here. So under app.r, we also need to so on the UI side, uh, what was it? Download buttons function, right? We needed to add that. And then we also need to revise the server side code to include, what is it? Download handler function. So inside we have a file name argument. So we need to provide a function for file name. And then there's also a content argument, right? And then we also need to create, um, what is it? The temporary directory and copy that report.rmd file into that um, temporary directory. Remember that, right? That is necessary for deployment. All right. Okay. So let's go to RStudio. Oh, let's close this app. And so we already added download button on the UI side. We need to add or revise this server side code. Now, in order to save time, because this video is getting long, we are going to copy the code from our code along assignment. So first, we need to copy this report.rmd file. So can we copy to Apply6, right? So if we go to Apply6, now we have this report.rmd file. We need to revise this later, right? And also there's a app.r file. This code here, right? So this is a code to create temporary directory, and the second line, line 10, we're copying this, report.rmd file into the temporary directory that we created in line 9, right? And then we need this function for this call R function, right? We need that customized function in there. So this is basically the function that creates the report, right? So let's copy this and put it here, right? And also we need this download handler. So I mean, order really doesn't matter. Um, yeah, in Shiny, the order doesn't matter. In other words, we can put this here at the bottom, or we can put it up here. So up here meaning like Control Z, and then we could put it up here as well. So yeah, we can see the new code in one page. We don't have to scroll up and down. Maybe we just leave it here. The Let's see if there's anything we need to revise. We just copy and paste the code from another file. So first of all, output ID report. That should match this one. So instead of download, yeah, report makes more sense. So that output ID should match. And report.rmd. So let's go to, yeah, so uh, report.rmd. This file name should match the one right here, report.rmd, right? So it's the same name. Good. And this render report function looks good. And so this PDF, I mean, if you want PDF, that's fine, but HTML, that's what we're going to do. So that should match report.rmd. Okay, so here the same HTML. So we want to create web page, and so N here. So this is the parameter or the variable name. So variable name is a sex. The input ID is gender, right? So, well, how do you know variable name is sex? If you download this data, you will see that. Maybe you do. Control. So highlight this, control enter. All right. So environment, we have data. So there you go, sex, uppercase S, right? So that's a variable name, also parameter, right? And input ID is gender, all lowercase. So down here in where is it? Yeah, right here, parameters. So parameter is sex, and input ID we named it gender. Okay, so don't get confused. And we are going to revise this code in our Markdown file as well. So make sure that you understand parameters are the same as variable names. Okay, so it's a sex. So parameters that we have here. So maybe we can change here. So instead of n, it's a sex, and instead of n. Oh, anyways, so yeah, that should change. Whole thing here will be revised later. Okay, just know that n is being replaced by sex because those are the parameters or the variable names. Um, and let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, so I think that should do it. So let's maximize this and let's run app. Save selected. All right. So okay, so we have everything we need here. So let's maximize a little bit and let's change the selection here to female. Apply changes, right? So when we download report, um, we want to see the same plot. Okay, but if we do that now, that is not what we're going to get because we need to change this um, the code here, right? So let's do that. So we have this R Markdown file that we copied from code along assignment. So what do we need to do, right? So the title we want to change it to Division 1 Swimming Makeup. So let's copy that and replace this dynamic report. And parameters, it's not n anymore, it's a sex, right? That's the variable name, right? So that's already replaced here. But we should do the same thing in the body of the code and the text here. But the fourth thing we need to do, we have global chunk option. We can do that later. The first thing we need to do is to get the code from app.r to create a chart. That is really main thing, right? And then we need to revise it. For example, um, you know, the parameters, input should be replaced with parameters, right? So let's do that first. Let's do that first. So let's expand a little bit. Right. So this is the main code, right? So data filtering is happening, right? And also here, um, this function here, that is, this is a code here to make a plot. So, right, this one here, we need that code and we need to save it to data filter. Okay. So grab that. Oh, by the way, do we have the code to import? Yeah, we need this, right? We need this. So let's replace this, right? And then we need data filtering code, and we want to save this to data filtered. So data filtered, and then assigning symbol, Control V. All right, so that is now um, input, right? So this is our Markdown file, right? So this needs to be replaced with parameters, params, this one, okay? So Control C, replace input with params. And this here, that is, again, that's from Shiny app.r code. Gender is not understood here, right? So what is happening here is um, when user selects a value for gender, so gender is input ID, that is, oh no, not there. Where is the polar R? Uh, Parameters, right? So parameters. So when the user selects a value for gender, either male or female, that value is stored in sex parameters, okay? And that is being passed on to parameters here, parameter sex, okay? So parameters sex, okay? That's what we need here. And whether that's M or F, right? Because that's how it is written in the data set, is being matched to the variable sex here, okay? Now we also need to grab plotting code, and plotting code is right here. So grab that, and then there. The only thing is this data filter, then parentheses. We need to remove parentheses because, again, that is the active value that is used in Shiny app code, right? And data filter is defined here. And there is an Shiny app specific code here, so that this should work. We change this input with the parameters. Anything else? Okay. Um, and let's remove that for now. And let's make sure that you save it, right? So let's try this. Run app. All right. So let's select female, apply changes. So we want this same plot. We want to download the same plot. Okay. So let's download report. All right. So I just realized that it gave me an error, and the error message here is data pipe operator filter could not find function pipe operator. That is because we haven't loaded the tidyverse package. All right, so I'm going to add tidyverse. All right, and then close app, and I'm gonna run it again. Oh, not this one here, app R. So run app, save selected. All right, so I'm gonna change the female, apply changes, the same plot we want to download. So let's try this again. And yep, so I don't have any report file. So let's save, go to downloads folder. Let's open it. There you go. Okay, so we have all these messages and the code. We want to hide all of it. And this plot should match this one right here. So it's a number of NCAA, National University, Regional University. Yep, it is the exact same plot. That's what we wanted. Wonderful. So okay, let's close this app, and let's close this report file. And what's our next task? Oh, so global chunk options, hide everything. So we want a clean report with just a plot and some interpretation. Okay, so let's add global chunk options. That this is something that you guys are familiar with. So you don't have to memorize anything. So let's just open our markdown file, and default our markdown file code here. You guys remember this? Let's copy this and then place it here. Right? So echo is true by default. So by default, the output file displays the code, but we don't want that. And we don't want any message. We don't want any warning. Okay, so let's try this again. And let's delete, run app. Let's select female, apply changes, the same plot we want to download. Right, save, go to downloads folder. Let's open. There you go. So we don't have any code, any messages, any warnings, right? All right, it looks good. Now, the last thing we want to do, so let's delete this. And let's delete this report file. And let's close the app. The last thing we want to do is this text, some interpretation. Let's copy that. And we want to put it, right, that's very high. Oh, not app, the report file. So let's put that. Okay. So what we want is, let's put another R code chunk. Oh, not there. Control Z to undo. So we want to put it down here. So here's interpretation. And let's move our plot, R code chunk. And we want the plot down here. Okay. The reason that I want to do this is because remember this men's, right here, men's national university. So that's the type of universities, right? And the count of universities. So 1, 2, 3. Those should be variables. Okay, how do we do this? This is called inline coding. So let's do this. Okay, I'll show you. So men's. Let's start with the easiest one. The easier one is national university and the number of institutions. So here, how do we do this? Okay, so let's run this code. So let's run this code chunk. All right, so when we look at the environment, so we have data and then data clean, right, which removes missing values in the type variable and selects DI in the division 1, right? And then data filtered here is, no, hold on, right? So data filtered here. Hmm. All right, so data filter. So the parameters, we have only one parameters, which is sex and a. I'm a little surprised that it ran with the parameters $X. Um, if um, if you run into an error, you can do this. So here you can copy this. So this one here should be either M or F, okay? Because that is the value in sex, yeah, F or M, okay? You can see that there. Um, so why did it copy? Yeah, so you can do that here if you want, either M or F, and data filter. You should see it in the environment. Okay, so this parameters of sex should be taken from app.r file when the user selects either male or female, right? And what we want is this the university type. Okay, so this type variable. So the type is here, right? So if you see data filtered, count, type, so there are 4 different types. Okay, so right, so that is the data filter for male because we selected male. So we want to extract this national university that's the largest, right? So here the largest type of division 1 schools with either men's or women's swim team is, so in this case for men's, we want to select this national university that has the largest count. So in order to do that, So we want to do data filter, and we want to slice max function. Okay, that takes the data first, which we are providing with the pipe operator, and order by what? Order by n. Okay, so control enter. So that is National University. So we sliced that particular row, and we want to pull the type, the value in type variable, and that is National University. Okay, so we need this variable. So here we're going to put that here, and let's say that under this name top type, and let's provide a signing symbol and replace this with inline code. This is a backtick. So this is usually in upper left corner of your keyboard. Um, it's in the same button that has a little wavy sign. Okay, a backtick. It's the same backtick as this one here, right? That starts our code chunk, and type R and space. Oops, you just need one backticks, and provide this value here. Okay, like that. And let's see if this works. So save this, make sure that you always save it, and let's see whether it varies. Okay, so let's run at, and let's select, let's keep it at male, right? Because we just looked at male, right? It was National University, so apply changes, and then, so it should be National University. I guess it doesn't matter. Um, both gender, National University is the largest. Okay, so download report, and open the report. So National University. Okay, so that's a variable. Now we want this 11710. Okay, so that number should change depending on whether you choose male or female, right? Okay, so let's do that as well. So let's leave the report, close the app. So in the report, our markdown file. So we need to do the same code here. So um, all right. So the same code. Remember this slices this particular row that has the highest count. Now, from here, what we want to pull is instead of type, it'll be n. So pull n, okay? And we want to copy that here, but let's save this as top institution uh, count and assigning symbol. Yeah, so let's rename this as well. It makes more sense. Institution insta in, institution, right? That makes more sense. Top institution type, top institution count. So we need to change this here. And also this one, we need to make it variable, R. And then we can place this one here. And also men's. So men's, uh, what we can do here is, uh, okay, so we can use if and else code. So let's replace this with backtick, type R, and then if, and provide condition, and condition is parameters, right? Dollar sign, sex, equals, double equal sign for condition, M, then print men's, else, else, women's, right? Okay, so if and else, did I do everything correctly? Oh, so we need the same thing here. So that double quotation. This text should be wrapped in double quotation, right? Params, sex, double equal sign, n in double quotation. If the condition meets, then print men's double quotation. Else, print women's double quotation. Yeah, everything looks right. So let's see. Okay, make sure that you save the file. App.r, run app. Let's change to female, apply changes. There, that's the plot. And let's download report. There you go, and save. And let's go to downloads folder, open report. Largest type of Division I schools with women's swim team is National University. There are 17,434 of them. Wonderful. So now, what if, so let's delete report. And what if we change this to male? Apply changes. And it doesn't change noticeably. Let's download report, and see whether the result changes as it should. Look at downloads. All right, so let's take a look at the text. Largest type of Division I schools in with men's swim team is National University. There are 11,710 of them versus 17,434 of them, right? So in Division I schools, there are more schools with women's teams. I mean, the largest type of Division I schools, right? It's 17,434 for women's swimming team versus 11,710 men's swim team. Wow, great. So we successfully created this app with one input, gender, right? Now, if you were to add one more input, the region, right, like this, so that is the only change. Adding one more input, that is your task. Okay, you just need to build upon the same app with just one input gender. You just need to add one more input. Let me give you a hint. So again, add one more parameter, region. So you need to revise both files, right? So the text, right? So text in our markdown file, the largest type of Division I schools. In the front, you need a region, right? In what region? So that should be a variable, comma, the largest type, the rest is the same, right? So inline coding, you need to add that. And in app.r file, in UI code, you need to add one more radio buttons function for region, right? And the server side, you need to add, again, you need to revise this filter function. So here, app.r, let's close the app. So again, so you need to add one more radio buttons function for region here, right? And what is it? Right here. So when you create data filter, right, you need another condition for this filter function, right, that takes into account region input, right, right here, this line, and the plot function is correct. I mean, remains the same. Here in download handler function, here parameters, line 48, you need to add one more parameters here, right? That takes into account the second input, region, right? So that is app.r file, and in report r markdown file, rmd, two places, well, actually three, including this text, right? YAML header. So here at the very top, under parameters, you have sex, and you need to add another line for region, right? So that's what I'm saying here. And body, data clean. So revise filter function there, right? So right here, line 2026, right, in the filter function, you need to add one more parameters to take into account region. All right. So this is a huge task. Um, that's why I provided more instructions, showing you how to build the same app but with one input. So you're adding one more input to the app, which is region, right? Have fun. Take care.